Is this gonna be this easy? That's my question. Let's go out for a practice. This is quite close. I'm not used to having the wheel this close to my face. I never actually drew a direct drive either. Okay, so I have both wheels plugged in. I can still use the Logitech shifter through my Logitech wheel that I have plugged in but not powered. Shifter light works fine. I'm not gonna go and full throttle or anything. Just want the baseline. See what it's like to drive like this. Again, you can tell I'm not used to having the wheel being this close. Alright, by default I think, if I read it correctly, the Moza software sets this to 20% strength. So this is somewhat around the same strength as my Logitech. 40%. With this update over time. Now it definitely feels a bit stronger. This camera view is a bit distracting, so excuse me here for a bit. Alright, at 40% I feel more... Oh, this is cool. I can kind of feel how uneven the surface is there as I'm going through it. Some of the smaller bumps. Good thing this wheel has the shifter HUD on it, like that ref, because my wheel completely blocks now the position of the HUD that I use. Just the realization that I'm driving with the Moza wheel now. The throttle is Fanatec and my shifter is still the Logitech. Alright, 60%. Alright, now I'm feeling a bit of a bass feeling, I guess, for what the road surface might be like. Some of the imperfections, the wheel is not completely straight by going over in the downhill there. Corners take a bit more effort now, I feel. But if I let it loose, yeah, you can tell. Like no longer I can just let off the wheel on a straight and stretch a bit and stuff like that. Maybe with one hand, but not with both. Really kicked out there a bit. Oh, okay. Alright. 80%. Oh. Oh, okay, curves are pulling in a lot more now. I can feel that. Oh, that's good, okay. I can feel the curves. The wheel is fighting back. Ooh. It's like I want to turn slightly to the right while you're going up here there, and the wheel is just like, nope. This thing is pushing me into my seat. I can tell with each corner that I'm taking now with a bit more confidence, and it doesn't feel brutal whatsoever. It feels smooth. Feels like I can somewhat control it. But then again, I'm driving the MX-5. It's not really the most unique type of car, but it's a good baseline. Well, it feels more eventful to drive this thing with the Moza than it was with the Logitech. At least when I look at it in memory. But then again, who knows, maybe I'll need to look into more settings a bit, because I legit just installed the pit house and mapped my wheel in AC. That's it. I haven't mapped any buttons on the wheel yet. Haven't changed any force feedback settings. It's as stock as it comes. But I guess it does something that, even though I'm pretty much running on the same settings, and the car that I was not really keen on driving with one wheel kind of comes alive a bit once you start pushing it on the other wheel. Force of habit that I'm looking for the button that I usually press to bring up the menu, but as I said, I haven't mapped anything yet. You can kind of tell that I'm not trusting this yet. I guess I had my first crash. Alright, I think I need to switch circuits, otherwise by tomorrow my left shoulder will be completely dead. So much stuff coming through the wheel now. So much detail. Detail that I would not really feel, I guess, on the Logitech. Overall, this is my feeling so far, like first impressions. Assembly was relatively easy. It works just fine on a office desk. And I say office desk because this is the one that I have it mounted to. It's not your average IKEA desk. This is a very robust desk, and I have my seat connected to it, so it's pretty solid. That said, I'm not running the wheelbase at max strength, so I'm still only using like 80% of the available output. To put it simply, the steering is harder, the driving is a bit harder, but it doesn't feel robust. It doesn't feel like you need brute force for every corner, for every straight. I never sat in a race car. I barely drove any real cars in my life, but I guess what I'm trying to say here is it kind of feels natural, predictable a bit. I guess that's what people want from it. Once you've done a few laps on a circuit, the rest of it matches the same feel. You can tell how smooth the surface is, how bumpy the surface is, which parts you should avoid, which parts you can drive on. Ooh, okay, this is warm. This is warm. No longer the cold wheelbase that I had. Now I have a fresh memory of what it's like to drive with the Moza. Let's see what it's like to do the same combo with the Logitech wheel. It's so much more basic in comparison. I didn't think this would be so obvious. Okay, so to describe what I feel, it's pretty much just nothing on the straights. You can tell that the camera is moving because of the camera's animation, but not much of that is going through the wheel itself. There's a bit of rumble over the corners, But for example, going over the curbs, let's see, nothing, absolutely nothing. Going over the curbs, nothing, it's audio based. Nowhere here either. On the Moza, going over the curbs gives you a bit of a vibration, but it's like you can tell it on the wheel that okay, the curb is somewhere around, like if it's for his flat line of like where you can locate the force that's going through, then the curbs would be somewhere around like here on the middle left section when you're driving around. Here, nothing. There's somewhat of a constant vibration that's going through, like da 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 at places, but going over the curbs, you feel nothing. Again, here you can tell that the car is on an uneven surface, but as far as the Logitech provides information about that, it's next to nothing. Again, in comparison, that thing told me everything I needed to know about the circuit just by driving around a few laps. But jumping back from that wheel to this gives me the feeling that with the Logitech I would spend 10 laps not even knowing where are the dangerous spots on the circuit, until I spawn there and wonder why I spawned there. And you can get around the circuit, no problem. As you can see, my data is in the green here. I was only 1/10 slower here than the previous best lap that I set. This is the best time I've set with the DD wheel. 1:44.3. I did 6 laps and I could reach, according to AC, a 1:43.9. And this is what I did with the Logitech wheel. 4 laps, 1 minute 44.4. And I could reach a 1:44. The difference between these two is next to nothing. But if I would describe it in a very simple way, this is more accessible, allows you a bit more flexibility, in a sense that like, oh, I don't need to use it, I'm just quickly removing it and putting it away. That one, the Moza, doesn't have that kind of freedom. But the driving on that makes more sense. The way you drive, the stuff that you feel when you're going over certain parts of the track and the curbs, it makes more sense on that. That feeling does not exist on this, but it doesn't mean that this is bad. No, both are good options. And I think, even though I will have the Moza, I can still see myself use the Logitech from time to time when I need to do like quick testings or something like that, and I just quickly need to move the wheel here.